And if we look in the document, the outcome document, paras 78 to 87 talks about the SD as overarching, the need to look at ECOSOC not only in social and economic, but also environment dimensions. So ECOSOC as the central body with the three dimensions integrated. As Mr. Chung mentioned, again, the role of the regional commissions, the sub-regional bodies, and so on is emphasized many times. 3 times, in fact, I counted in paras 85, 100, and 251, the role of the regional commissions and how the regional dimension should be looking at this sustainable development. Now, I think personally that this, we are at an awkward situation where the powers that be are still at the podium and powers to be have not yet reached the podium. It's like a child that is growing up and not yet an adult and not a child anymore, but it's in this awkward puberty where it's not knowing. So the power structures, this is my personal observation. If we look back 5 years, no major decisions has been made in climate, in trade, in economy, and so on and so forth. So we have multiple crises. All our political leadership are trying to handle internal and regional situations as opposed to global. So in this transition phase from, I think, bipolar, unipolar to multipolar, we are having difficulties at the global level, and the UN, the General Assembly, and all these discussions are, I think, having difficulties due to this. But this provides an opportunity, as we were discussing this morning, an opportunity for innovation at the regional, sub-regional level, sustainable development accepted as overarching concept of well-being, planet well-being, human well-being, accepted the basic needs of peoples, of all peoples of the world in terms of food, water, energy, health, education, and so on. Accepted the need for new metrics beyond GDP, accepted. So if we take all this from a regional level and take it to the global level, as it were, if we put this into practice, not wait for the global level to pass down any decisions down, it will not happen with the current situation. So I think in forums like this, it would be useful if we focused from the national, sub-regional, regional, to take up to the global level, to take what has been agreed on. And this is the how that Dr. Nathan was mentioning. So I think to conclude, as the Secretary General said, we need to be optimistic. We need to focus on implementation. The overarching goal has moved from just poverty to sustainable development. We need to look at poverty as well as consumption, lifestyle, so the two are interconnected, interdependent on the environment services. And in the void of major global decisions, this is the time for regions to play a more active role, to implement, to bring innovations at the global level. Thank you.
Thank you very much. In a succinct fashion, from the UN perspective, how to look at this, evaluate this. Thank you very much for your views. It just so happens that it's 17 minutes past 3, and we have until 3:45. So we have a little over 20 minutes for our discussion. Any of you in the audience, if you have any questions or comments, listen to the speakers. And if you could kindly make it clear to whom you're asking your questions. And if possible, I would appreciate if you could state your name and affiliation before you ask, before you take when you take the floor. Thank you. Anyone from the floor? Yes, please.
短にお願いします。
And please be succinct.
My name is Volker Morfer. I'm from Institute of Advanced Studies of United Nations University. I have a question to Professor Chung. You mentioned the issues in the brackets, which were skipped. Could you, for example, mention 3 issues which, from your point of view, are very important, which were not covered by the outcome document? And to the other 2 speakers, perhaps Mr. Chung and Mr. Shrestha, if you could also comment shortly on these issues in the brackets, which were not covered by the outcome document. Thank you very much.
ありがとうございます。今もうちょっと
Thank you very much. I would like to collect the questions and then ask the panelists to answer. So, other questions, please?
Counselor, my name is Nakano. Mr. Nathan or anyone else could respond. 20 years ago at the United Nations, the summit was held. I participated in the environmental summit. This time around as well, whenever a large conference hosted by UN occurs, a new international organization is built, a new international forum is built. That kind of request is constantly proposed. And one of our missions is how much we can avoid building a new organization and this fora and that. And as Dr. Nathan has mentioned, or as Mr. Chun has said, Sustainable Development Commission was started up. We said there's no value to that. But then they decided on bringing this about. But everyone was disappointed with the results. And so now they're going to start up a new organization or 2 or 3 more. And Mr. Chun, Asia Environmental Organization, was quoted. But are these new bodies going to truly be effective? Why do you think that a new body can do what an old body was not able to do? What's going to be an improvement over conventional organization? If you're just spending money to host a conference, that's just an additional cost. And I think so far we've ended up just delivering those cost results.
Just one more question. Anyone from the floor? I think there's time for us to take just one more question from the floor. I don't have clear visibility here, but anyone?
手を挙げてないんですか?
Do we see hands? I mean, it's difficult to see from our side.
My name is Soichi Mori, working for the Ministry of Education, Culture, Sports and Science and Technologies. I have been following the discussions concerning Rio+20 since last March, when the British Society hosted the big conference of Planet Under Pressure Conference. At that time, there are a wide variety of side events. My question is about the implication of side events. There seems to be more than 500 side events in real time. My question is such implication of side events towards the real negotiation of professional diplomats. Do you recognize any significant real-time correlationship between the two?
ありがとうございました。では今3人からでご質問がありましたので。
So there were questions from 3 people. So.
それ待ってください。時間があったらということで。
No, afterwards when we have time, yes, we would like to entertain other questions. So Dr. Nathan and Mr. Chun, please.